Welcome to Twisted Liquid RC Boats. This episode of Twisted Liquid RC Boats is proudly brought to you by Blazer Marine. Interested in an RC hydroplane for yourself? Check out blazermarine.com. Also, this episode is proudly brought to you by Slycat Racing. For all of your RC boat needs, slycatracing.com. Good day, everybody, and welcome back to Twisted Liquid RC Boats and the continuation in our Blazer Marine Lauterbach Thunderbolt hydroplane build. Now guys, today we're going to get some additional framework done. As of right now, we have our first 13 pieces installed that you've seen in the last episode. I've got everything epoxied solid as of right here now, except for the lid top. I've went around it with a square, checked it for right angles everywhere, even between the sides and the bulkheads, the engine rails, anywhere. Everything is square, and I'm very, very happy. Now all I have done to hold it in position right now on the jig is I have 3 steel plates and a C-clamp holding it down exactly where I want it to sit until I got the frame completely built. I've got 1 steel plate laid back here with the C-clamp. It's just a small piece of plate, but it weighs about 3 pounds, so it's perfect. It keeps a little weight there, keeps it solid. And I've got 2 big steel plates out of my shop press. I own a shop press, and they weigh probably about 10 pounds each. So I have about 20 pounds wrapped up in old rags and tape, holding the frame down solid right here across the engine rails, so it can't move or it can't wiggle. If you wiggle it, the jig moves. So my boat is good and solid, sitting where it's to, so I can continue on working. Now today we're going to conquer getting in what they call our side doublers. And we need to install these pieces now in order to keep going with the frame construction of our boat. We cannot install bulkhead 8 or bulkhead 7 or the stem until we have these 2 side pieces installed. Now guys, as you can see, they've took a natural curve because I had them sitting in a dry fit for so long that they've just assumed the position of the stem of the boat, the front bow section. So it's going to make my life a little easy, and if you do dry fit your boat and leave it alone, it will let the wood take the natural shape of the boat, which is great. Now 2 of these pieces do look identical in their design, but here's what I want you to notice about them. They are different. They have a different slot size right here. There's a starboard side and there's a port side. The port side has a 1/8 of an inch slot to fit into its bulkhead over here. The starboard side, where the turn fin is to, has a 1/4 inch slot. So make sure that you identify these 2 parts, because they look identical except for that, and you align them with the correct sides of the boat. They're very easy to install. They just simply slide in place, down over the bulkheads, and they fit into 1 slot right here, 1 tab, in bulkhead number 6. Now what I want you to notice, guys, is that these inside doublers have to stay to the inside against the bulkheads. You should have a 1/16 of an inch exposed here on this tab, so that when you go in and put your second side doubler in, it fits in this tab right here also. So take your time and make sure you dry fit this and you get it fitting your bulkheads perfect, because that's the way you want it. Now I've merely took some 1/16 of an inch thick wooden shims from the kit and a little piece of thin cardboard and got it set up to hold this very simply with just a clamp. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide the cardboard down there first, just to take up a tiny little bit of additional gap. I'm just going to slide my 1/16 piece of wood in on top of that. I'm going to take another 1/16 piece of wood and slide it in right here like so. Now I'm holding this side doubler against these first two bulkheads perfect like I want it. And to get it to stay in so this tab exposes, it's merely a simple procedure of just taking a C-clamp, coming towards the top side of the bulkhead, and just giving it a light snugging so it pushes the side doubler in against bulkhead 6, keeps your tab exposed, and when you go to lay your second side doubler in, it will fit exactly where you have these wooden shims with a little piece of cardboard just to keep everything sitting perfect against your bulkheads. So guys, very simple procedure like we done before. I'm going to take some CA glue, some accelerator. I'm just using an artist brush to apply it because I got a bad cap on my bottle, but I've got about a half a bottle of CA left. I'm going to get to the hobby shop and get some more, but I'm just merely going to hold everything in perfect position, put a dab of CA glue on it to keep it where I want it. Once I got it tacked exactly where I want it to, I will take my epoxy, mix it up, come in and do some nice fillet joints around all of my edges. Now guys, take the time and prepare the wood by taking all of the laser burn off of it. Sand out all of these slots. Sand out all the edges on the bulkheads. Anywhere where you're going to have epoxy exposed and you're going to apply it, make sure that you clean the wood and remove the laser burn. I make up various little sizes with various grits of craft sticks that can fit into the slot easily so that you can clean the laser burn out. Now guys, I'm not telling you to change the shape or alter this slot or any of the outside pieces or anything. All I'm asking you to do is get the laser burn off so you get better penetration with your epoxy. Here's an example. I've got the slot cleaned out on bulkhead 8. I did not do the top edges yet, but you can see the difference in the color in the wood. And the epoxy will penetrate into this wood clean better than it will that burned wood. So take the time and remove the laser burn, prep all your parts, get it ready. Once we get these side doublers tacked and epoxied in, I'm going to let them sit and cure. It'll be 2 more pieces added. Then we can come in, do bulkhead 8, bulkhead 7, and the front stem. But you cannot do those 3 pieces until you get these side doublers on, because they all have to fit into these slots. And you have no way of attaching those parts to the boat until you've got these guys in place. So I'm going to set it up so that the other side is in place too, and I can tack it and get it all in the perfect position like I want it. We'll get a mix of epoxy done up. We'll use some West Systems G-Flex, and we'll get all of our joints done once we know it's all perfect. And we triple check it with a square, right angle. And then once we got 2 of them in, we'll come in, take care of the stem, 7 and 8 bulkhead, and we'll get it all lined up like it should be. So let's get to work, and we hope you enjoy today's episode. Okay guys, took about probably 10 minutes. 2 side doublers are tacked in place. They're held with 1/16 of an inch thick pieces of wood here where your second side doubler is going to go in on your bulkheads. Little tiny piece of cardboard just to keep it snug. Same over on this side. Couple small C-clamps with no pressure, just lightly holding the pieces in. Now everything's tacked with CA and sitting perfect. A couple things I'd like to note for you. Make sure that they're sitting down flat against your jig surface. They should be flat against your jig surface. Right here. Also, please note that this is why I notched and cut this jig right here so that the boat could fit with these side doublers in place. If I didn't notch and cut the jig right here, you would not get them in place because they go in approximately 3/8 of an inch on both sides is what I'm gonna guess. I'm pretty sure it's around 3/8 of an inch. But this is why I made the jig like I did so that these pieces could fit exactly the way I want them. Now guys, I got them sitting there perfect, exactly like I want. Everything is square here. Amongst these 4 squares right here, if I check it with a right angle, I have no problem keeping everything perfectly square in through my boat, which makes me exactly happy because it tells me that we're getting this together the way it should be. So you just got to take your time and do this. Be a little bit precise like I've said before. Check everything, go around it. I don't have a small tiny square, but I'm just using a 90-degree bracket off a Speedmaster strut, and it works just as good. It's a simple little hand tool because it's a perfect right angle, and it'll show you what you're getting done. So now that we got them in place, we got them held with our 16-inch thick pieces of wood and a clamp, tacked with CA. I'm going to mix up a batch of West Systems. Not going to bore you with it. I'm going to come in, do all fillet joints around it. I'm going to let them harden. I'm going to let them get perfect and solid. Once I know they're hardened and solid, we're going to come in and continue on with the rest of the pieces in the bow. But like I told you in the intro, you got to get these side doublers in because you cannot put them pieces in. You have no slots to mount them to. So let's get some West Systems mixed up and let's get them side doublers in there for good. Okay guys, it's the next morning after we put in our first side doubler on the frame of our boat. I released the 1/16 of an inch thick wooden shims I used right here and a little C-clamp that I had right here. I still got my tab exposed for my second side doubler, and I got my slot for my second side doubler to fit. Now once you get to this stage, you might as well just take your second side doubler and do a little quick dry fit to make sure everything's going to line up perfect for you. Slid down right in place, no problem. It fit right into the exposed tab that we had remaining right here. Lined up really nice with the jig and the notch I got put in it. And I can easily ease it in on the back towards my other bulkheads on my boat and get it in place later on. So right now, that was just a quick dry fit to make sure everything's going to fit later. And like I told you guys, if you build a jig with 2 tables and legs like this, the in-between space right here makes a perfect place for you to locate your parts until you need them. So you got them tucked away, close to your project, and damage-free. Now moving on in the manual, like they tell us to do after we've got these first side doublers in place, they're asking us to install bulkhead number 8 next. And we're going to do it exactly like we've done everything else. We're just going to tack the top edge of it with CA. We're going to mix up a batch of West Systems G-Flex epoxy, come in and epoxy it solid. Now guys, this piece sits at a perfect right angle to your jig. So as you can see, I've got an old turn fin bracket here, and I've got a set of Speedmaster strut brackets here, just clamped to the bulkhead as legs. And all it's doing is keeping it perfectly flat against the jig. That's an old hammerhead out of my toolbox just for weight to keep it from moving. Right now that bulkhead is sitting there without the ability to move. So if I had it epoxied in there, it'd be perfect. I could let it cure and leave it alone. And that's the way that I'm going to dry fit it, like you see, and set it up once I do it. So we'll just add a quick tack of CA, get this positioned perfectly in the slots. We'll come in and epoxy it and we'll set it up like you see it. We'll leave it and we'll let it cure. Now as you add these pieces, you're going to notice that the frame starts to get a lot of rigidity to it. And don't worry, we're going to come back in and install the stem and a couple form stringers next. And once we get that done, then we'll get bulkhead 7 in. But until then, we can't get number 7 in till we get some other pieces established in the bow of the boat, and then they're actually going to ask us to come back and start towards the transom of the boat again. So follow the order of the manual, pay attention to how they ask you to do it, and take your time and get the work done. I'm going to tack that with CA, I'm going to epoxy it, I'm going to set it up like you see it with clamps, and just simple angle to hold it level and perfect to my jig at a perfect right angle. And guys, this is working out great. If you take your time and do this, you can set this up really easy. You just got to pay attention to how you're doing it and build everything square off your jig with your boat. Let me get that work done and I'll get back to you and we'll conclude this episode. Okay guys, we officially got bulkhead 8 tacked in between our side doublers that we installed at the start of this episode. Like I say, take a couple clamps and take some angle of some type of aluminum. Make yourself some legs for the bulkhead so it holds the bulkhead perfectly at a right angle to your jig, and you can get it installed between your side doublers and not have to worry about it moving while the epoxy is curing. I can just lightly put some pressure on that. It doesn't want to move at all. It's solid, just held like it is with the clamps and the aluminum angle. Like I say guys, I'm only using an old turn fin bracket and a couple Speedmaster strut brackets. Once you get that done, you can come in and check your bulkhead right across your boat. Make sure it's perfectly square with your jig. Dead in the center. Right to the ends, right to your side doublers. You can check it on both sides if you like. And know that you got everything good. And once you got that done, if you want, you can come in and check your side doublers and make sure that they're square to your jig also, which they are. Do it on both sides. You've got bulkhead 8 installed. Now guys, that's 3 more pieces in this episode. The 2 first side doublers and bulkhead 8. Like I say, you got to get these side doublers done so you've got the tabs and the slots in order to put these pieces into. Next in the manual, they're asking us to concentrate on the stem and these 2 form stringers. They're asking us to do them together. So we're going to conquer it that way. And we'll move on with the frame of our boat. Can't thank you enough for watching, guys. Appreciate all your participation in this channel. Appreciate you guys watching me build the Blazer Marine Lauterbach. Hope you enjoy the build as it's going. We're starting to get a frame put together slowly but surely. Piece by piece, guys. Take your time, do your work, get it done. It's not hard work. Just try and be precise and exact in everything you're building. Don't get in a rush. And eventually you'll get this boat put together. Can't thank you enough for watching the channel, guys. Hope you have a great day out there. Take care of yourselves. And I'm going to catch you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everyone. Feel free to like and subscribe. Take care and stay safe.